I told you that we have 3 tiers of government: federal, state, local government. The federal government, I have told you that they have 2 bodies, 2 different bodies: House of Senate and House of Representatives. And each state has House of Assembly. But local government also makes their own laws. But the laws are called bylaws. This bylaw is not that they are not a legislative body, but they obtain their permission from the legislative organ. That is, for a state, the federal; for a state, the House of Assembly. So they cannot just make laws, but it is already known, accepted, but the approval to make law must have come from the House of Assembly. So the examples of laws made by the state, we have public health laws of Lagos State, public health laws of Ondo State, Ebonyi. All these states, they have their own public health laws, and some others have their environmental sanitation law. Lagos State has also Environmental Protection Agency. So, but for local government, we have laws like food bylaw, market bylaw, building bylaw, burial adoptive bylaw, meat inspection bylaw, sanitation bylaw, foodstuff and regulated premises bylaw. We have many of them. Liquid licensing bylaw, and so on. This will take us to public health law terms. If you have it in your notes, all you need to know is, if it is a way of memorizing them, memorize them. But they are in your note. Adult means a person who is 18 years of age or above. A child means a child who is or appears to be under 18 years of age. You have the meaning of commissioner. It is the commissioner of the various states. Competent local government means the local government upon which the functions of a local government under the law are conferred. Dairy means and includes any farmhouse, cowshed, milk store, milk shop, or other place from which milk other than imported preserved milk is supplied, or in which milk other than such imported milk is kept for sale. We are health officer, and you won't believe that as students, when you ask them to define health officer, they don't know, but you must know. Health officer includes a medical officer of health, a health superintendent or inspector, or an environmental health officer, or senior environmental health, or other person acting under the authority, whether general or special, of the medical officer of health, and whether such superintendent, inspector, or other person is serving in the medical or sanitary department of government of the state, or in the service of a competent council. Medical officer, on the other hand, means a medical officer in the service of the government of the state or of a competent local government, and includes a qualified medical practitioner employed by the government of the state or a competent local government. Medical officer of health means a qualified medical practitioner. Note that the person who is in the position of medical officer of health must be a qualified medical practitioner appointed to be government medical officer of health for the purpose of the law, in charge of any specified area, or generally for the state, and in the absence of any such appointment for any area, the medical officer in charge of the area shall be the medical officer for the area. A competent local government may also appoint a qualified medical officer and practitioner appointed to be medical officer of the local government for the purposes of the law in the area of authority of the local government. have notifiable infectious disease. We have different. In fact, the notifiable infectious diseases are since infectious disease are since expanded. Where we now have Ebola, we have we have the COVID-19, so on. But as at the time this law was made, it means plague, cholera, yellow fever, smallpox, typhoid, relapsing fever, cerebral, spinal meningitis, chickenpox, diphtheria, scarlet fever, puerperal fever, whooping cough, measles, tetanus, rabies, typhoid, dysentery, poliomyelitis, tuberculosis, leprosy, yaws, and trypanosomiasis, that is sleeping sickness, and includes any disease of an infectious or contagious nature which the appropriate authority may by public notice declare to be a notifiable infectious disease within the meaning of this law. I just told you that we now have COVID-19 and so on, including Lassa fever. So all these are notifiable infectious diseases. Parent means the father or mother of a child and includes any person having the care or custody of a child. Premises means and includes messuages, buildings, lands, tenements, hereditaments, vehicles, tents, vans, structures of any kind, drains, ditches, or places open, covered, or enclosed of any ship or vessel in any port or on any inland waters. Right of entry, it is important because before you can go on for your inspection, you must be able to enter the premises, and it is this public law that is empower you to do that. So it shall be lawful for the health officer to enter premises at any time between the hours of 6 in the morning and 6 in the evening. For what purpose? It was the purpose of examining as to the existence thereon of any nuisance, or until the nuisance found to exist has been abated, or the works order to be done are completed, or the closing order is cancelled, as the case may be. And when the nuisance order has not been complied with or has been infringed, you have the power to enter premises at all reasonable hours for the purpose of recording the execution of the order. You see, it is important and compulsory that they must allow you to enter any premises, because any person who refuses to obey such order or in any way hinders, prevents, or obstructs the execution of the order shall be liable to a fine of 5,000 naira or to a term not exceeding 6 months imprisonment. And that you have the power to enter any premises until the order issued by a court is complied with. In as much as it has not been complied with, nobody can prevent you. If they prevent you, you charge them to court and they will be punished accordingly if found guilty. Joinder of parties will involve in a particular premises if it is only if a nuisance is found in any premises and the environmental health officer can charge one person to court, or it doesn't really matter whether it is only the action of one person that has caused that nuisance. You can arraign everybody in that house, and if one person is found guilty, all of them in the house may be asked to share whatever the punishment that is given. Read it very well from your note. And I told you the other time too that we have some health laws on environmental health. like National Environmental Protection Pollution Abatement or in industries and facilities generating waste regulations. This body of regulations attempt to control the release or discharge of hazardous or toxic substances into air, water, and land resource of the country. It requires industries or facilities to operate a pollution monitoring unit, each within their premises, and to be responsible for pollution control on site. So waste discharges in solid, gaseous, and liquid forms emanating from industries or facilities are to be subjected to monthly analysis and reported to the nearest office of the agency. We have the National Environmental Protection Effluent Limitation Regulation 1991. This regulation makes it mandatory for industrial facilities to install anti-pollution equipment for purposes of detoxifying effluent and chemical discharges produced by it using the best available technology, BAT, and best practical technology, BPT, or Uniform Effluent Standard, that is UES. BAT, BPT are obligations imposed on parties to recent treaties to apply the best available technology or alternatively to use the best practicable measures in order to prevent environmental harm. These obligations, which call for the observance of precautionary measures on environmental control, will ensure minimal discharges, emissions, and waste into the environment. We have others like National Environmental Protection Management of Solid and Hazardous Waste Regulations. All these environmental protection, management, whether solid and the one that all of them have one aim, that is the control of pollution. We have National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC. The most important feature of the Food and Drug Decree is that it is an offense under the provision of the decree to manufacture, prepare, preserve, package, store, or sell food and drug intended for human consumption which is unfit for that purpose. The agency has the power to regulate and control the importation, exportation, manufacture, advertisement, distribution, sale, and use of food, drugs, cosmetics, medical devices, bottled water, and chemicals. Don't limit this to this note. Do some research about all this, and you have more facts, but there are more points, more materials. Then we have Environmental Impact Assessment Act. The EIA Act was promulgated principally to enable the prior consideration of environmental impact assessment of public or private projects. Any person or organization planning a project activity which will have an impact on the environment is statutorily required to prepare an EIA report, and the report must set out the potential impact of the activity on the environment and plans for preventing, mitigating the same, as well as clean up plans. All such reports must be approved by the Federal Ministry of Environment. We have Harmful Waste Special Criminal Provisions Act 1998. The Harmful Waste Special Criminal Provisions Act was an act to prohibit the carrying, depositing, and dumping of harmful waste on any land, territorial waters, and matters relating thereto. This act was enacted in the wake of the cocoa saga, when 3,500 tons of toxic waste was dumped at cocoa, down in Delta State by an Italian firm. And ever since then, it is an offense for anybody to just dump any waste, harmful, any waste. No waste is not harmful in territorial waters. And in fact, the severe punishment awaits anybody that violates this act. It will include seizure of aircraft, vehicle, container, any other thing whatsoever used in transportation or importation of the harmful waste. Please read this also. The